Alright, so the time has come. I'm in my little Nissan Micra. I'm going to take it out to the Campaspe River around the Kyneton and Macedon area. I'm going to sleep in it overnight. I've made it so that I can literally turn this into a camper within about 10-15 minutes with a little bit of love. There's no need for conversions, renovations. You don't need to gut it or anything like that. It's very, very simple. It's not perfect. It's just enough to get you by. And even in weather like this, where it's quite sticky and quite humid, I expect to be pretty comfortable tonight. So once I get there and I've had a little bit of a bite to eat, I'll set up the camper and give you a look at the setup and how it's put together, how it looks. And then I'll have a bit of a chat to you about what my plan is. All right, see you later, mate. So, I haven't quite left Melbourne yet, but I'm just passing a pretty large car at the moment. And it made me wonder about what my next car is going to be like. And that's part of the reason why I'm doing this weekend. Is because at some point this year I am thinking about upgrading my car. So I thought there's really not going to be any other opportunity in my life where I'm going to have a tiny car and I'm going to go camping in it besides this car. So I think I want to experiment with that as much as I can while I've got the car. So just coming into Kyneton now. Go check out the mineral springs, which is probably where we're going to bed down for the night. Apparently it's right here. This doesn't look very secluded at all. Oh, actually, there does seem to be a campground down the way. Get out and have a walk around. Go for a little wee-wee. Well, I've rocked up to the Upper Collarbone, so I'm about to get out and do some fishing. But before I do that, I thought I'll quickly take you through my backpack for this overnight. There's not going to be much stuff at all. I do have other stuff in the car, obviously, but this is the main stuff that I've taken with me for this weekend. We'll do a pretty, I'm not going to take you through every single item, but I'll give you a bit of an overview. First things first, in this little side compartment here, I keep a torch. I've got some hand sanitizer just in case I find some roadkill or something that I want to process. I've got some jute cord because I thought I might make a little burley cage kind of thing out of grasses later on. And my open L knife. Also, when I said to you guys the other week that I couldn't find my size 7, so I ended up getting this number 8. Well, when I was cleaning out this car to turn it into a camper, I actually found it in the back. So I've got my size 7 is in my little survival kit now. Alright, so that's everything from the side. I'll hang on to the knife because I'm going to go fishing in a minute. In the front, I've actually got something that's back here that usually sits in there. And what this is this I use to, if I find bait, like worms or bugs, I'll pop it in there. Just little bits of paracord, which I'm trying to get through before I stop using it, because I'm trying to get away from plastics, and this is a plastic product. I've got a couple of band-aids and hand wipes in case I need them. The other side, which I will be taking with me now, I've got garlic, I've got some snips, a little bit of fluorocarbon leader. Again, try and get away from this stuff. It's really, really hard to do if I want to keep fishing. A little bell that I found and a little float that I found as well. So a lot of this stuff really is salvaged or at discount. So as I come across this stuff, I'm adding it to my collection. In here I've also got just extra trout line, and I've got a little float, another one that I found there when I found the first one, and I'll attach that to a little hook if I want to do some hand line fishing later. And if I can't find any bugs or anything and I get real desperate, I do have a little bit of power bait there. But for the most part, I'll be using lures. Which of course brings us to the fishing part of my kit. I carry around a very small kit these days. 2 of them in fact. One of them is this old tobacco tin. So this tobacco tin, I've lined it with a little bit of brushed cotton. And there's 2 reasons for that. The first one is when I'm walking around and this is shaking in my pocket and all you can hear is cha-cha-cha-cha-cha of all the metal. That's really, really annoying. So I wanted to get rid of that. The other thing is it just seems to feel a bit nicer in my hand. And also, like, with the amount of sound that it makes, you know, particularly with trout fishing and some other fishing, fish can get pretty squirrely, and if all they hear is all of this shit, they're not going to be hanging around too far. So in there I've got some floats, I've got some sinkers, some swivels, a bunch of different hooks, and I've got some flies in there as well. And I also keep in there somewhere one really effective spinner, just a nice small one. So this is almost like this is an everywhere kit, but it's also I guess a survival kit as well in terms of fishing. And the other one that I'll take, which is, what is that anyway? Oh, it's another tobacco tin, really. This one, the whole lid comes away. Again, I've got the brushed cotton in there. This one, this is where I keep, oops, so the cotton doesn't always work a treat. This is where I keep my spinners and hard body lures. I'm trying to get away from soft plastic, so I've brought none of them this weekend. But I have, of course, brought my favourite lure. So that is the brown trout, the Meps Uglier size 1. It's got the little orange thing on it. I do want to change that orange out. Again, I'm trying to get away from plastics, but I tell you what, you think you've gotten away from them, and then something else turns out to be plastic or have plastic on it, and you know, you've got to go back to the drawing board. So it's definitely a work in progress. I'm not just chucking out all my stuff straight away as soon as I find out it's plastic. I'm finding a use for it first until I can transition away from it, until I can find a better version. So it's not perfect, but it does the job. Alright, so that's the fishing stuff taken care of. I'll put that to the side because I'm about to take that out with me now. Into the body of the bag, the first thing I've got is this little pouch that sits in here. That keeps my power bank and my power bank cord. So that charges everything from my phone, this camera here as well. You can power that fan if it needs to. You can power pretty much everything. Even a laptop technically, though I probably wouldn't trust it because it's not really designed for that. Let me just fix this camera up. It's actually held on by gaffer tape at the moment, so it's probably not going to stick. Alright, in this bag, I'll pull one of the things out because I do need it. And that is my little side bag that I use for fishing. So all the stuff I just showed you that I'm going to take fishing is all going to go in that with me now. And then I've got my chest harness for this camera, which I'll also pull out now because I'm going to wear it. And then this bag's empty. I've got some rigger's gloves. I ended up getting a new pair. The others were just too dirty, and I want to be able to have a nice pair that I keep clean because the last pair I did not. In here I've got a 1.5 litre stainless steel pot with a lid, so it's a mess kit, and inside that I've also got some rubbish bags, and I've also got a cloth that I can dry things with. So later on I'm going to make some chicken noodle, and I'm going to add some eggs to that as well and just mix it all around. It's a great little cooker. And it came with this, I guess, a nylon mesh bag, which I'm not too happy about. But again, I figure I could get a stick or a couple of sticks and tie them to this thing, and I could use that to catch little live baits or you know, something along those lines, whatever I need to do. So that, now I can sit there. And then lastly, I've just got a bag with some extra clothes in it. So I've got a pair of socks, a pair of merino jocks, I've got a merino jumper in there, and a spare t-shirt, and that's it. That's all I've got. That's my whole backpack. Truth be told, I could travel with a lot less than that. I've really kind of overdone it with the stuff that I've got in this car, but I wanted to be comfortable on this this first trip in the little Nissan Micra camper, the micro camper. So after I set it up later on, I'll do another video and I'll show you what that looks like. Alright, so here's the fun part. Turning my car into a camper. So I'm just going to get into it. I'll probably just speed this up in the end so you don't have to hear and watch all the boring stuff. So let's get into it. So that's the main thing. Now what we do, take this stuff out. We're going to use all this. The hat, probably not. Percolator in the morning, yes please. Empty can of Coke, probably not. That sheet, probably not. And all we do, is slap this down the bottom here. This was a much nicer, neater job the other day. You'll see these milk crates actually sit flushed with the bolting. And then this box, tell you what, getting away from plastics has actually been rather difficult. I'm pretty sure I had it set up like that. And then I have a jacket that sits in here, this little gap. And then the mattress is going to come across. Now I'll just blow this mattress and I'll come back to you. So, I know that to most people, this probably doesn't look that comfortable. But it is a surprisingly large amount of space. Now I will set this up different in the future, and of course all of this stuff actually gets set up along the windows and everything. My fishing rods, they just sit right there. Let's go for a bit of a tour, shall we? So I've still got all of this space down here, which I originally thought the fishing rods would stick out of, but I like that I can actually sit here against this and look at whatever is going on there. Speaking of what's going on here, this is one of those little computer fans that plugs in by USB. This little solar power bank. Not only does it have a flashlight here, which I can use later at night time, I can also plug this sucker in. Now that doesn't seem like much, but it's home. That's where you're at the ocean. I'm probably going to need a spoon on here, but we'll see. See what the snag's like. I only brought one spoon, or one that I am confident will catch a fish anyway. Bit of garlic. Oh, what's this? Oh, look at that. Straight away, I found a lure. That is a beautiful vibe lure. That's going to come in very, very handy. It's got a nice red eye, it's got gold, it's got black. I am super stoked about that. Alright, hang on. As cool as this. Oh, mate, look at that thing. Ow. That is a great looking lure. Alright, well, I know I haven't really updated you guys much at all with what's been happening today. The main reason is that nothing really much has happened today. I've been out here quite a bit. You can't really see the water from here, can you? You can't really see it all that well. I've tied down my rods into the front seat using whatever blah. The back's looking a bit messy. I haven't really got any systems in place. So I'll tell you what, it's been a little bit clunky, truth be told. But we're sorting it out. So I am going to go have some noodle and egg for dinner, I think. If not, I did see that there's an Indian place in Kyneton, and I could probably go, you know, some sort of, I don't know, chicken tikka or something like that, or a paneer butter masala, I don't know. We'll go have a look. And then I'm going to get to this camp spot and hope that there is still a spot for my little mini Micra. Howdy. Welcome to Casa El Danny Boy. So this is it. This is the camper empire that is the Nissan Micra. So this is micro camping. And it's been pretty good so far. So I had the noodle and egg for dinner. I washed my pot in the out the back of the boot. I've got my little fan here, which that's connected to the solar charger. The solar power bank is my desk fan. I've had it turned off just because, as you can hear, it's a little bit loud and obnoxious for the video. I don't actually really know where I'm going to put all my stuff, so I've basically just put my bag there, my jacket. I put a jumper up here in case I need to get out and have a wee. I've pretty much kept this whole space here clear. So my boots are down there. I've actually got a pair of thongs under there as well. I've kept this space pretty clear because I want to be able to navigate in and out of here pretty seamlessly. And if I need to, I want to be able to sit up against the chair here, which I just need to maneuver a little bit and figure that out, so that I'll be able to sit up and you know, if I wanted to watch a video over here or some shit, then I'd be able to do that pretty freely. But otherwise, it's pretty good. You know, I've got my curtains set up there. They're not really that great. I'll need to reconsider how I do that. This, for the most part, is pretty good, but there's a lot of bleed out at the back, which is fine. And then I've got just a couple of visors just to keep the rest of it out and hopefully keep some of the heat out. So we'll see how this sleep goes, because to be honest, I forgot my pillow and I've got this cushion, and to be honest, it's it feels soft, but it's not that comfortable. So we'll see how I feel in the morning. Well, night and night, y'all. Have a good sleep now. Scary. Cindy. Good morning. Not sure if you can see me here, so put up. Fuck hell. It's a bit broad. It's pretty good. I'm pleasantly surprised at just how comfortable that was. Very cozy. The plan was, it's 5:30 now, the plan was to wake up early and go fishing, but there's 30-kilometre winds right now, which is pretty hectic, so I'll probably just relax and make a coffee, make some breakfast, just chill, go for a bit of a walk, have a bit of a look around. I don't think this is going to be much of a fishing weekend. It's going to be a get rid of some eye bags and have a shower and look around kind of weekend. Maybe even go try, there's a mineral spring, a natural mineral spring just over there. So it's got some of that stinky water that's loaded up with like metals and minerals and all that kind of stuff. So probably go have a bit of that. Alright, see ya. quick little trip for when you're cleaning your stuff on the road, cleaning dishes. Obviously, I carry a cloth with me and I carry a bit of steel wool, but trying to get stuff dry, it takes time, right? You don't want to be burning through paper towel all the time, but you also don't want stuff to get moldy and still be covered in bacteria. So all I do is this is filled half with vodka and half with water, so it's a disinfectant, and I just give it a little squirt on this when I open it. And then I can just wipe it down, and in it goes. And this has so many purposes. So I actually use this for my merino wool, and a lot of my clothes now, because I don't do my washing nearly as often. I do not wash my clothes after every single wash, after every single wear. Even like my undies, obviously you want to do something about that. So generally what I'll do is I'll take it in the shower with me, and I've got a soap that I might give it a quick soap up with, very gently bring it out and hang it up. And then when I'm done and it dries, or it's drying, I'll spritz a bit of that on it and it's done. That's my merino undies as well. So I was looking at all the reviews for merino undies, and people are saying, oh, they thread out, they're terrible, they don't last long. And I think it's because people are putting it in the washing machine and it's just constantly getting agitated. You can put it on a delicate wash cycle, and that's probably not a bad idea, but do you really need to put it in the washing machine every time, or can't you just give it a bit of a spritz? What's the washing machine doing that vodka is not? And you will not smell the vodka. Alright, this is my magic noodle trick. So I've got my chicken noodle in there, add a couple of little eggs. Well, they're hardly little, these are from the chooks at home. Now, I thought this made it more fun. Apparently, it doesn't. Sorry for everybody that I've told about this, that I've cooked them more fun, when it turns out I actually haven't. Cooking up that whole fun, yeah. Oh, bloody hungry. Oh, bloody hungry. Alright, I'm back. So, obviously, looking a bit ragtag today. Sleeping in the car. And I'll do a little bit of a review on what I thought while my noodle and my egg are cooking over there. So, in terms of comfort, I could not have been more comfy. I was so cozy in here. I was like a little egg. I was completely straight. Like I said, my legs weren't bent, my neck wasn't jarred out. It was great. I was so comfortable. And the visors at the side and the front kept so much light out. It was just beautiful and dark. And that really helped, I think, as well. Not seeing a bunch of tree movement and lights and all that kind of stuff, because that can be quite jarring, especially in a new area, I think. Having the parcel shelf here where the camera is was actually really handy as well. It's got the camera. Right now I'm balancing my cup on it. It also had the fan, it had the power bank, and it also had the light. And when the light was that high, it lit up the entire car, so I was able to see everything that I was doing. So noodles are ready now. I'm going to go do that, and then we're going to think about whether or not we go for a fish, or maybe we go exploring somewhere around here, something we haven't seen yet. So as I said yesterday, I like to pack very, very light. I've just got this little bag. It's got some line, there's a float and a pair of scissors and a bit of garlic sauce as well. I'm not going with the spoon. I'm going to go with the big yellow. I love this thing. And that all just sits in my little lure tin. If I can show you this, I'll show you, get a good view of that. But it's just a little tobacco tin, a little bit of cloth. Pop my lid back on, goes in your pocket. Very, very simple, not plastic. Love it. Now, one interesting thing about my fishing as of late is I've really switched over to metal style lures. Oh shit, that's going to be very loud, sorry. So I've switched over to metal style lures, and I've started making like feather flies and other kinds of lures and imitation baits. So I'm trying to get away from soft plastics because, again, it's just a plastic. I know that there are some really good alternatives out there that are meant to be biodegradable and whatnot. I'm just treating any plastic as a bad plastic. Even the case that this action camera's on, it's made of plastic, eventually that's going to go as well. So look, it's a long journey, and I'm not just going to throw shit out because it's plastic. It's going to be transitioned out when I find something better. Alrighty, so car camping is concluded. I'm just stationed at Lauriston Reservoir at the moment. I'm just about to pull down all of the visors and window covers. I had a small little nap. It was a lot hotter this time around because it's middle of the day, so I had the fan blowing in the back, which was really, really nice. And I could have fallen asleep like that. Like I'm surrounded by people here, a lot of kids and a lot of families out for birthdays and just getting out in the sun. So I kind of felt like I was going to get disturbed or like I was going to have a harder time sleeping, and I didn't, not at all. Because that was my concern last night, was that, you know, sometimes you get these weird little irrational fears, like, you know, oh, someone's going to try to break into the car. Like, why are they going to try to break in the car? They're not going to try to break in. Oh, someone's going to see the visors on the window. They're going to know someone's sleeping there. They're going to want to mess with them or slash their tires, or like just stupid thoughts that, like, no one's going to do that. And if they did that, you'd have to be the unluckiest person on the planet for that to happen to, right? There's certain places you're just not going to park your car, and there's certain places that are designed for you to park your car. So, yeah, that was interesting, working through not so much a fear, but like this weird little anxiety that I had going into it yesterday afternoon. But overall, like I said this morning, this was so comfortable, and I cannot wait to do this again. So I will, like I said earlier, I'm going to have different systems in place for this. I'm going to set up the space a little bit easier, so it's like a pack and pull. So you pull something out, and you've already got it. You don't have to think about setting it up. You put it back in, it's there. You don't have to worry about it later when you want to go to sleep and it's laying across the mattress. So even the fishing rods were the biggest hurdle that I had. You get the position, because they were laying along here. So when I was coming, and obviously all of this was not set up, they were just laying in the back, right? And then last night I had them actually propped up here, feeded up here, and then a little loop around each one to stop them from falling over when I was going left and right in the car. That worked really, really well. But for future, a merino t-shirt, for future, I've got them sitting up here for during the day, but I might actually set up little hooks or something, and then have the reels set up on this side and have them like on a rail, so I can still sleep there and they're not disturbing anything, but the rail's set up. So I'll have a bit of a think about that. I'll workshop that another time. For now, I'm just enjoying the sunshine. So that's that for this trip. The only other thing worth mentioning is, you know, I'm harvesting from the earth this year. That's my main focus. And, you know, that's fish, that's rabbits, that's hopefully at some stage in the new year, you know, a goat or something. It's, you know, plants, edible weeds. They're my sort of main things that I'm thinking about. But the other thing I'm thinking about is, you know, what other free resources are available. And I think if you're going to go down the path of this lifestyle where you're living in any car, whether it's a small car or not, you're pretty limited on what you can carry with you. And you don't want to be relying on, you know, eating out at restaurants or having to go to the shops all the time. And, you know, you're already bringing down your finances from rent. Or are you going to just plug that into a bunch of easy to grab food, because cooking food becomes a little bit harder to do? That's why I've got that the vodka and water spray. So I'm disinfecting stuff as I go. I don't have to sit it outside and wait for it to dry for an hour or half an hour or half a day or whatever it is. If you want to adopt this lifestyle, or if you just want to do it like me, where you just sort of sometimes will come out and do it, there are so many resources available. Like if you go to like Lauriston here, I just filled up my 5-litre Jerry plus my water bottle for free with, you know, crisp, fresh, clean water. The only thing I do with it is I stick the Bingetan stick in it to filter out, anything that I don't want in it. But that's free. There's community Facebook pages and groups for dumpster diving or for free food. There's so many ways you could do this, and I'm really keen to explore that this year. On top of harvesting from the earth, I think I want to harvest from other people's waste. So I don't know. We'll get back home today, unpack the car, see how I feel about it after being in a nice warm bed tonight.